It's deprogrammed. My name is Justin. I'm a host guy. I do things to you orally. And when I say orally, I mean orally, because you can see that nod. That's how audio works. Ladies and gentlemen, patreon.com/ohhijustin. If you would like to pledge $1 American a month, it would be greatly appreciated by me, your host. I would love you forever if you went and pledged. It helps me get new equipment. It helps me. I don't know. It helps me along on my journey of my podcasting journey and all the other garbage I'm getting into. So, what your $1 American gets you is this program deprogrammed 3 full days early. It gets you the Oh Hi Justin pod 7 full days early, and that's a daily pod, so you get that 5 days a week. It also gets you the #WrestlePals pod. It also gets you, hopefully, I'm bringing your music show back. Maybe there's another podcast project I'm working on, which should be launching in the new year. Maybe a comic book. Also, these Ghouls demos, which is my band, which is really just me and my acoustic guitar right now. So, all that stuff for $1 right to your eardrums, comes to your email if you pledge $1 American, patreon.com/ohhijustin. The sales part is over. Today we're talking Silversun Pickups. I'm delighted today to be joined by my panelists. He was just here a couple weeks ago for Silverchair. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time you're stepping away from Evan. I love it.
Yeah.
It's Jonathan Chitwood.
Cutting the cord.
Cutting the Evan cord. Also joining us for the very first time, I pestered him. Relentlessly. His name's Matthew Wachowski, but you know him best as Slights.
Hi, guys. How you doing? And I'm glad you pestered me. I'm glad to be here.
I wanted to keep pestering, and this is the same reason I'm pestering Chapel, is I think you'll have a fun time doing this show.
I'm legitimately excited about it. I'm giddy.
It's once you get into it, I mean, for me, it's an everyday, actually almost literally everyday thing. It's, for me, like diving into these bands every week and getting to listen to an entire discography, like it with Silversun Pickups. It's 4 albums. It's not that deep.
Mm-mm.
There's bands like, or there's artists like Stevie Wonder, which is like, years upon years we had to break into 2 parts. It's just a lot of fun. And
it's just an excuse to get into some stuff that you wouldn't normally get into.
Precisely. Which
Which is not the case for this band. This band I particularly enjoy. But.
So, Silversun Pickups has actually been sitting up on the board for 2 years. So I'm so happy you guys are here because,
nice.
I was into Carnivus. I was into Swoon. I kind of fell off of them, not on purpose, after Swoon. So, again, happy to have the excuse to finally dive into everything post-Swoon.
Yeah.
But they just kind of fell off my radar, I guess. I knew they were still making music, but I never made the deep dive. They've been sitting on the board for 2 years, been trying to make this show happen.
2 years and it's here. Today's the day.
Today's finally the day. Jonathan, what brings you to the table today? What is it about Silversun Pickups that has you excited to do the show?
Well, I was kind of a late bloomer.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my experience with them, my exposure was the stuff that was on the radio, which I dug. But I guess, I just never really kind of followed through with other than what I had heard on the radio. And I was pleasantly surprised when I started going through the discography for this.
Well, they definitely have, actually, we'll move it along to Slights. And this was the band, because I remember seeing you saying something about them just randomly, because I was trying to get you to do Hum. Because Hum, again, is one of those bands that it's like that turnaround, 3 albums, 29 songs. It's stupid. But I was trying to get a quick turnaround band. So I was like, maybe you'd do this. I messaged you separately because I still feel like Chapel just doesn't want to hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I mean, he will delay giving like an answer for the rest of his natural life.
He's never going to listen to this, but Chapel, just say you don't want to do it. It's fine. I get it.
Chapel is the only dude I've ever known who lifts weights constantly and never seems to accrue any body mass whatsoever. I have no idea what he. It's like I don't know what he does. He goes to the gym all the time. I know he runs a lot, so he burns up. But then why lift weights? I don't know. This is apropos of absolutely nothing. But I just want to point that out in case he listens.
But dude, if this hurts me more. This is hurting me more. You not telling me no. This hurts me way more because there's always that. Oh, it could happen. It could happen. I could get him because I think he would have, like you, music dude. I think he would have fun dissecting a band like this. It's fun.
Yeah, the honest answer is I have no idea how he would feel about doing it. I mean, you know what I mean? I really don't. I have no idea if
I don't know why I'm hanging this on you.
You're not. Well, I mean,
here.
I still talk with Chappell not all the time, but I still every once in a while I'll hit him up. But he, he's very much so like yourself. He's a family man. He lives out in Chesapeake. It's hard to get him
anywhere,
to do anywhere, anything, anytime for anybody. It
Yeah.
just is not. It just doesn't happen.
So what brings you to the table for Silversun Pickups?
This is one of my, I don't want to say they're one of my all-time favorite bands because that's not true, but they are a band that I've liked for a very long time. And working for a radio station I don't work for anymore, and so I can't mention them. But the station that I used to work for, I had the opportunity to see them do acoustic sets and talk with them and stuff like that. And I just like all of them personality-wise, collectively as individuals, and then the art is fantastic as well.
I think they're... So, I mean, they draw a lot of comparison to, like, a Sonic Youth. They're a very 90s band. For a band.
I hear Sonic Youth and Smashing Pumpkins.
That's what I hear the most.
Yeah.
And that's what I hear in the music. Like,
and who's the My Bloody Valentine? A lot of that, too.
Okay.
A lot of shoegaze.
Yeah, definitely some shoegaze in there, for sure. I didn't know... Well, okay, so that band just kind of always skated by me. I don't think I've ever heard of My Bloody Valentine.
I knew that they existed, but I didn't listen to anything until they had a new album come out. I think last year or the year before, and then I instantly picked up on the similarities between the two.
But shoegaze is absolutely in there, absolutely 100%. And it's so Adore is one of my favorite Pumpkins albums, and although I don't think it's a to B comparison with what Silversun Pickups does, because Adore is pretty dark and sad. I think a lot of what they do is right there in that vein of what Adore was. Like, the drummer he's no Jimmy Chamberlain, obviously, and I guess maybe that's why I make that comparison.
One thing that I noticed, I was watching some YouTube videos the other night, and I just got that same kind of feeling from the way that the drummer plays his set. And it was something that I had kind of maybe subconsciously picked up on was his use of the hi-hat, which is something
way up there, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the one that he has one? No, that's not.
That's one of his Crash.
That's right. I'm sorry. Yeah,
which I thought was extremely unique as well. The way he just kind of reaches up into the sky.
The Crash symbol is like a good 2 feet above where his head is when he's drumming, but when he's playing, like he reaches up and smashes that thing.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's weird and it's cool though. Not even interrupt.
So like the hi-hat is whenever you listen to Pumpkins, you'll hear Jimmy. I mean, just
there's a lot of lifts.
Yeah, a lot of lifts, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the technical terms for drummer terminology.
Evan.
Yeah, but that was something I definitely picked up on, and it was funny that you mentioned Pumpkins, both of y'all, as kind of similarities, because I picked on the exact same thing, and it was something I was going to mention. Unlike Adore, though, I kind of got more of, especially with, what was it, Pickle and Caravas, the first
Earlier
two albums.
stuff, yeah.
It's actually Pikel.
Pikel?
Is
it
Yeah,
really?
this is one. Yeah, true. I read that on Wikipedia 3 minutes ago while standing at Justin's counter and doing very quick last-minute research because I'm in here kind of blind a little bit. So,
Yeah.
not to be that guy, but it's Pikel.
Hey,
Sorry.
I will remember that. Thank you
There
for
you
the correction.
I was always wondering if it was Pickle.
Yeah,
I mean,
Picule.
I was
No, yeah,
completely wrong.
Yeah. According to the bastion of knowledge that is Wikipedia.
We will take their word for it.
Pikel.
But yeah, I mean, I got more of the feeling from like Gish era. With the early stuff also.
Yeah, I never put it there because obviously this dude's not Corgan, and Corgan shreds, and that's not a knock on Silversun Pickups. Obviously, Billy Corgan's Billy Corgan, and he's a way underrated guitarist, in my personal and humble opinion.
Yeah.
But I think from a sound aesthetic, I totally agree with you. I think it's different because Billy Corgan kind of really created a sound that the Smashing Pumpkins, I feel like, and Brian, the lead singer and guitar player, is building off of that sound and not really doing anything super new. But
it's funny the way, like, normally a band like this, where it is so comfortably cozy with something else I really enjoy, would be an immediate turnoff.
Yeah.
Just somebody not writing something quote-unquote new. It would be an immediate turnoff. I think they did a wonderful job of adopting and writing from a different place, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Is like it's it's comfortably in that pocket of a Sonic Youth, of a Smashing Pumpkins, but it's not so direct and exact that I'm like, that's Smashing Pumpkins.
It's not like an exclusive kind of
it's
copy.
not a ripoff. Yeah. It's
like
just
you get in a lot of I guess like alternative, music these days. You have the one band pops up with a sound, and then you have 50 other bands.
Yeah, you get the copycats come out real quick. Yeah.
So I'm glad that they don't do that, and I also like, especially like in the later couple albums, the comparison is almost more 1A or A versus A. There's a song. It's when it comes up in gameplay, I'll mention it. But it sounds like, I don't know if you guys ever heard Billy's self-titled record. Well, it's not self-titled. Solo record, The Future Embrace.
No. I know.
Mostly, you're not missing anything. I think it was a decent album for the time. I haven't gone back and visited, but there's a song called The Camera Eye.
Yeah.
And there's a song that the Silversun Pickups do that, like, I heard that and I'm like, oh, that's almost A for A, and it didn't turn me off. And again, I'm kind of the snob with music in that regard.
Yeah.
I like this. Don't try to tell me I should like this because it sounds like this. That comparison will almost never work.
That's
for
interesting.
Me.
I'm just saying. Because I think there are a lot of people that I feel like consume music in that way, where it's like, I don't want to hear your recommendation because you heard that I like this band. Like know what I mean? Like it never works out that way.
It almost never ever works for me.
Huh.
Like if you say, I don't know what a more apt like you like Blink-182, well you'll probably like this. It's not. I like Blink-182. Don't try to tell me that I'll like this too. Like it's possible that if I listen to band B and they just so happen to sound like Blink-182, I might like them. But if
the Front Bottoms is a band that you would like if you like Blink-182. I'm sorry, I'll stop hitting the table. Sorry.
It's fine. The Front Bottoms, eh?
Yeah, honest to God. Like if the Front Bottoms, they're a band from New Jersey that have been around for a while. If they had come out 5 to 10 years earlier, they'd have been one of the biggest bands on the planet.
Wow.
But if you like that pop punkish, even though it's mostly the lead singer plays acoustic, not electric, but it's in that emo vein.
See, this is why I think you'll like the show.
I think I will, dude. I'm having so much fun right now.
It's a lot of fun to talk music with people who also love music. At least we may not all have the same musical taste.
No.
But we all have a general love for music that I think that's my favorite part about the show. We've already gone 13 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about Silversun Pickups, and the name of the game is Deprogrammed. And so we've all three of us have definitely pulled out 20 songs.
Yeah, we definitely followed instructions.
We've all pulled out 20 songs, and we're going to bounce them off of each other in an attempt to create a top 10 starter kit for you, the listener, to jump in and listen to Silversun Pickups. And for the third time now, I've collected some listener data. I asked them what they would consider their essential Silversun Pickups. 2 weeks ago we did In Excess. Last week we did In Excess. Whenever it was, we did In Excess recently. I got a lot of response for that. Last week we did Nickelback. Pretty much zero response for that.
Yeah, I don't know what you were expecting.
I'm surprised.
It was mostly negative. It was mostly people finding clever ways to say none of their music.
Yeah.
I suggested Young Modern, if I recall.
Yes, you did. Yes. We did get one legit answer. And for Silversun Pickups, it was actually surprisingly low. I don't know if they're just not as popular as I thought they were, or if they've just really fallen off the map.
It's weird because they are one of those bands that, like, they're known, but they're not. When you think of like great, modern rock bands of the last decade, I don't know that anybody would bring them up. Like that's one of the first ones that you think of, but the discography is there. Where the argument is there that they are one of them.
Yeah. It's insane.
It's a strange thing.
I can't think of a band in the new millennium that I like as much as Silversun Pickups. I mean, they're there. They exist. Mm-hmm. But it's one of the few bands that got to me. So they probably broke in, 2008?
I would say around then, yeah. I think, define, because that's when, 2006 is when Carnivas came out.
So they started hitting the nation in 2006. 07-ish.
Yeah.
That, I mean, they hit my ears then, but they're the only band from around that time that I think I still listen to.
Okay.
I don't know, again,
Yeah.
I'm bad with dates, really bad with years, but I can't think of a band before that either that I kind of, I kind of live in my 90s bubble.
Yeah.
Like all the bands from when I was a teenager are still pretty much the bands that I listen to. You know, when they come out with new music, I listen to that. I mean, now I'm more open to whatever actually I'm attracted to.
People tend to hang on to the music from their formative years for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that are worse than me. Dudes, I'm not.
This is the best band ever! Oh! Yeah. Dudes!
Yeah, but I'm at this age, I'm trying to really open my mind to, like, literally, I did Def Leppard. I mean, that's not a band for me.
Not for me either.
That's something I grew up with. So.
Well,
see, it's different. Yeah, it is different.
That's the great thing about all this.
And did you, by grow up, you mean like your parents made you listen to it, or it was just around, or something you found on your own?
They didn't make me listen to it. It was the stuff that was popular at the time.
Yeah, okay.
I'm an 80s kid,
All right, fair enough.
That, it was just kind of what was pervasive for the
bring
time.
That over here. What is this?
Oh my god.
Thanks.
That smells delicious.
Oh, wow, okay.
Dinner is served.
That's awesome.
So,
you should have just set it on the laptop. Watch
right?
The whole thing melt. That'd have been fantastic.
All right.
A hot dish came through, and it was, and she was carrying some food.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
See, look, I just complimented your wife. There it goes.
That.
You see that? That's very nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
I want that air freshener.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I forget where we were going with our conversation.
We were talking about listening to music outside of your, like this being one of the bands, Silversun Pickups being one of the bands that you kind of found later in life when you weren't really discovering new music.
I should probably, I don't know, follow my own thread occasionally. So I'm glad you were following my thread.
Yeah, dude, I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
I'm also trying to delay the game a little bit just so you can spin songs in
No,
your head.
I mean, listen, I'll come up with stuff on the fly. You may hear a lot of uhs and ums when it comes to my
That's
turn,
fine.
but listen, we'll, edit it out. I don't know.
Nah. I don't do that. It's fun.
Add in the Jeopardy theme.
Yeah, exactly. Did I say that one yet?
So, yeah, I don't know. They hit my ear the right way, and I mean, of course, they have that 90s sound, which we've already alluded to. So it's like, did I really find a new band, or were they just out of time? Like, were they just a band that should have been in the 90s, or because you just mentioned they're not as, I honestly think that they would be bigger, or I would think that they are a bigger band, but that's just not the case. Is the sound just wrong?
I wouldn't say it's wrong. My personal opinion is they kind of fell into this like wall of sound.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the bands that were getting big, that were kind of making a name for themselves, the stuff that if you grew up around music, and listening to stuff on the radio, there's a definite difference between the kinds of bands that are played on the radio in the 90s. I mean, you had the grunge and alternative movement, to a lot of the stuff that I hear on these same stations today. Several years ago, I would have been considered like indie rock kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bands that have this particular kind of sound, but it's going to take a select few to kind of refine what they're doing and kind of bust through that wall a little bit. And maybe Silversun Pickups is still doing that, and
possibly
we're one of the elite.
Yeah, we're elitists. So, I mean, and before we really start getting this begs, I think there's a bigger question here. Can a band be that big anymore? Like, I feel like we're in a time of the artist.
A song can be that big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's a matter, it's so, everything is so splintered and there's so much niche that it is hard for any one band or act at all to gain traction. It's extremely hard. I deal with it. This is part of what I do at the radio stations that I work for. I'm assistant music director, which means I deal with the record reps and trying to. They're always. It's so hard to get something that taps into the genre and that casts a wide enough net to get enough people to.
Like Weezer's
wheels
freaking cover of Africa.
It's
like
the biggest thing.
It's
the biggest thing. Yeah, in the last we were playing that on Z104. Right? Yeah. It makes like it was weird for me to like introduce the song. No, it's a total. It's not even a cover. It's just literally just them playing. Yeah. Africa. It's not. There's no interpretation of it. There's no like.
It's not Weezer.
Homage. Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. It's not a Weezer song.
But it's massive. So
it's their biggest hit in over a decade.
It's just weird how, and maybe I'm putting too much stock in how big a band is.
And it's also a prime example of the effect of the internet because it was a meme. That's all. It was a Twitter thing, I think, right? And and then now it's their biggest hit in a decade. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. For that, like stuff like that makes it incredibly difficult for anybody, any new cream to rise to the top.
Yeah, so, it seems to be a fast-moving world, especially with the internet the way it is.
Yeah.
And, a lot of these bands that kind of feel like they can kind of they don't have as much time to develop their sound. Whereas older bands, you would have several records to kind of, mix this thing together. A lot of bands these days, they're either hit or miss, and if they do hit, then they'll get that possibly like core group of people, and if, they continue to write good stuff and be successful, they'll still have that core group of people, but there's going to be this other group that, maybe kind of rides the train a little bit, but then, gets off at
like I did.
Particular station for, the next thing coming along.
Yeah, that's essentially what I did with them. And I didn't do it on purpose. I really enjoyed Silversun Pickups. I didn't follow the thread. I fell off a swoon and stopped paying attention to them.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to reset here. The name of the game is Deprogrammed. We've pulled 20 songs aside, and we're going to mash them together. Top 10 starter kit. I know I already said that. I'm just refreshing because we didn't get to the game yet. Forever. I did pull some songs for in case we need them. Some listeners gave us some ideas for songs if we need them. If for some reason we have to pull from the trash or whatever. So, and the new trash protocol is if we don't get enough songs directly in or into the conversation to make our 10, then we're each going to be able to select a song that we put in there and a song that one of you put in there that was close. So, like, just for an example, I put song A in. I want to bring song A back into the discussion. Slight put song C in. It didn't make my list, but it was close.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring song C out of the trash and put it into. And then we'll have 6 songs that we can then try to push through whichever ones. Anyways, I'm making it way more complicated than it needs to be. I'm going to start right here. This may be my favorite track one of all time. I'm a track one guy. If you've ever listened to this program, you've ever been on it, you know it. Slights, you're learning this about me right now. I'm a track one guy, but this may be my favorite track one of all time.
Oh, wow.
And it sets a tone for this album that ultimately ends up making the album, I hate to use the word disappointment, but I really can't think of another way to describe it, because the album's good, but I feel like the tone that gets set by this song makes it so high that only the song that immediately follows it keeps up with that. There's No Secrets this year.
Yeah.
The way that it comes in, just kind of quiet, but then hectic. And then it just builds and builds and then explodes into that opening.
Absolutely.
And it just...
sorry. I'm going to have to get better at that.
Every time I hear that song, I still get... just thinking about it, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I love the tone that sets for the album. Like I said, ultimately, the tone, the rest of the album doesn't match that tone, which is weird because I'm saying it's an ultimate tone setter. But
yeah, it's a good album, and I kind of felt like it dropped off a little bit, but that was on my list.
Yes. How do you feel about it, Slights? You got it?
That was on my list as well. Yeah, legitimately, yes, yes, it was. That was one that I was thinking of.
Boom. Sure. There we go. All right, Jonathan, it is your turn, good sir.
Well, I guess I'll play the next song then. That's the Royal We.
Yep.
That's awesome. One of my favorite just bridge parts.
1, 2
in general.
It's again, if There's No Secrets This Year is the best track one, the Royal We, I make a case that it's the
such a
best
great follow,
track two.
Yeah.
The way they bridge into each other, like I can take There's No Secrets This Year without the Royal We. You can't have the Royal We without There's No Secrets This Year, though.
The album is Swoon, by the way. I feel like we should
Yes,
mention.
Swoon.
Just-
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine. Just-
And like Jonathan said, like for some reason after that, there's plenty of great songs, and I actually have some in my list, but nothing matches the tone and the energy of those first two songs. I think it's just the perfect way to open the album. And I say that, but is it? Maybe the bar was set too high, but it's a good album. I really, really enjoy Swoon. But to me, the tops is right there at the top. So is that another unanimous? We all got it?
Yeah.
The Royal We. And
Starting off strong.
just to put it out there, the Royal We was one that the listeners had. So
Yeah,
there we go.
excellent.
All right, Slights, you're up.
I don't know if this is cheating or if it's making it too easy, but honestly, when going through and listening to the discography, Kissing Families, which is track one of the first EP, Pikel, which you mentioned earlier, and I think that song, I don't know of a song that better sets the tone for what a band is going to be going for throughout their entire career is better than that song.
I got it.
The slow build,
The way he sings it
yeah,
at the
the
end.
way he sings it at the end, just the whole tone of it. That is what Silversun Pickups has been building off of their entire
And
run.
it's great that they don't abandon that.
No.
I don't.
No.
I don't think they get enough credit
That's
for
the
that.
thing that I love about this band is that from Pikul, is it Pikul?
Pikel.
Pikel. Okay. From
Yeah.
Pikel all the way through to
Better
what's the
Nature?
last one? Yeah, Better Nature. Their sound is like core.
Yeah.
All the way through. But then on Better Nature they've refined it maybe a little bit
They
more.
refined it and they really let the
spread
keyboards
out.
loose on that
Yeah.
record.
They build
that's
and
what I-
massage on their sound.
Yeah.
They don't abandon it. It's there, at the very center of it. It's still Silversun Pickups. And
Them and another band like Vampire Weekend, they're two bands that their discographies. You could just hear them building on the core sounds.
That's interesting.
And
That's
the albums do go in different directions, but the core is still intact throughout the
Yeah.
entire.
it's
thing.
interesting that you bring up Vampire Weekend's one of those bands that I kind of have ignored wholly because right now I forget the hit that the first one.
The first A-Punk, it was their first breakthrough hit.
Okay, maybe. So it must have been the one after.
I don't know. There's been a few. I mean, they've that's one. I don't want not to go off on a total side tangent about Vampire Weekend.
It's
They've had not a ton of commercial radio success. Less probably so than Silversun Pickups, I would say. So
I remember hearing it on that one station that we won't mention. But I hated it, and so I've completely ignored that band ever since. So
Yeah, no, that's fine. Was it Diane Young?
I can't.
Diane Young might change your mind, baby.
that was it.
it.
Although I do,
That was like
I
a
do
big
recall
radio.
that one.
Yeah.
No.
That was a big hit
But,
for them.
I
That
don't
was
know.
3 albums later. That was 2 albums later.
So Kissing Families, was that another unanimous?
Yeah, nice.
Wow.
I'm great at this game. I'm doing real good.
3 for 3. That's insane.
All right.
All right. So maybe I'm trying to decide if I want to break the trend or if I want to just keep playing.
Do you want to fail?
That's the thing. Do I want to fail or not? You know what? I'm gonna keep on my track ones. I just relearned this on my acoustic because it's a great. Now we talk about tone setters. The album picks up this thread and stays with this thread. We're talking about Carnivus, Melatonin.
Oh, yeah.
Not on mine.
Oh, okay. So it's in the conversation. I failed to mention this, Slights. If it is on all 3 of ours, it's unanimous. It goes through the 10.
Okay.
If it's on only 2 of ours, then it comes back
It's
for
on the bubble,
conversation
yeah.
later. It's
Okay.
on the bubble, yeah. And if only one of us has it, it's in the trash. All right. So Melatonin was not. It is in the combo. Jonathan, you are up.
Let's see. I think I will play off of, I believe it's Neck of the Woods, and that is Busy Bees.
I don't have that.
I don't have that either.
Oh. Hold on, let me find it. Yep, there it is. I don't even think that one hit my radar. Just saying, that's a terrible pick, John.
Par for the course, I guess.
Next pick. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
All right, Slights?
For me, the next one is going to have to be. Hang on one second here. Hang on. Oh man, where's that? This is terrible. I'm sorry. It's Growing Old is Getting Old. That one to me, it's probably it's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Wow.
Yeah, it really is. It's one of those, and when I think of like songs, this is one of those songs where, in a perfect world, if I could play in a cover band and just play a bunch of songs that I really like a lot, and hope that the audience this would be probably my opener.
Nice.
It's bass. The bass line is fantastic. And then Brian comes in with a guitar way late into it, and it is one of those that it's all of these songs. If you're unfamiliar with Silversun Pickups, they're all at least 4 minutes long, and they're all slow. Not all of them, but for the most part, the motif is a slow build to a very loud explosion that comes, and that's intense. And this one I think perfectly exemplifies. It's like the perfection of that. And lyrically very, very strong as well.
I'm glad you had all that to say, because I definitely do not have
No, dang, no, it's so good.
Well, it's on my list.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're allowed to expire with ourselves in mind. It's one of my favorite lines of all of their entire thing.
It's funny that I think you just stumbled onto the real reason that Silversun Pickups haven't broken through. I mean, now, other than what we talked about before, like with just bands not being able to do that anymore. These are slow burners.
Yeah.
These are they're not in that comfy 3-2-3. That's the radio length. They're most of them nowhere near that.
No, not at all. No,
I found with the first two albums that not that I really disliked any of the songs, but I found myself zoning out every time I would listen to them.
Yeah.
And I had to really, pay attention.
Sometimes it's a good thing, but
yeah, I think maybe it was because what's his name? The singer, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian, he was, I don't know, maybe a little bit monotone in ways on the first two albums, and kind of changes. I don't want to say monotone because it's.
I get what you're saying, though.
But it's I don't know, not as powerful vocals as the later albums.
Okay.
I get that. Yeah. Well, let's talk about later albums. Let's see. This is off of Neck of the Woods, and when I'm going through the newer albums, this one, as I'm listening, just was like, why didn't I know that this song existed? This is effing great. Mean Spirits.
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, do we need to play a clip? But that's all right.
We can. You should. I think you should.
All right. Let me bring up my list here. Because any excuse to play it. I don't know if it far exceeded my my expectations of what the newer albums were going to be. And of course, I scrolled past it. There it is. Just give it a little taste here. Like what?
Yeah, not at all what you would expect on this record.
Yeah. Just bouncy, clean, and then dirty.
Yeah. And that's the shoegaze vibe right there. That fuzz, that.
Oh, good gracious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
The rhythms are so good on just about every song that they put out.
That one took me for a loop. All right, Jonathan, where are you going?
Let's see. I think that where's it at?
I'm sitting on a couple what I think are home runs, but we started out so hot, I wanted to cool it down.
That's fine.
Okay, well, the song is
Steve.
Yes. Book Smart Devil.
Oh, I don't have that one.
I did have that one.
Hey.
Yeah, that is one that I do like.
Hey. So we'll put that through to the combo. We are still doing swimmingly, gents.
Fantastic.
All right, Slights.
Let me see. It's well thought out. Twinkles is what I'm going to say. It's usually their closer. It's just a fun song. It just is so. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about it.
I don't Nope, I don't have it.
No, not here.
Wow. Yeah. See, I love this because
I love it, though.
that's a fan favorite for sure. That's one of those that it's one of their better known deep cuts. I guess that never was really never was a radio single. I think it was a single, but I don't think it ever did anything.
I know a lot of times on previous shows we've kind of tried to shy away from some of the radio stuff if at all possible.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's inevitable.
Yeah, and I kept thinking about that when I was making my list because there's so many. I mean, those are the songs that really drew me in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I found so many others that I really like and really enjoy.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see, discarding the radio stuff.
There's one home run that I don't have, and I'm not going to be mad if either of you plays it because it was a calculated risk leaving it off of my list because I think it is definitive Silversun Pickups, but I also was like, yeah, but so could this.
Yeah.
I at the risk of bringing in a song that maybe somebody hasn't heard, I left one off. But this is not one of them. Little Lover's So Polite.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like it is
absolutely one of mine.
That is it's a Silversun Pickup song. When you listen to it, it's like, yes, that's what they sound like. That's exactly what they sound like.
Mm-hmm.
Did that one miss you, Jonathan?
Yeah.
All right. It's in the combo though. Little Lover's So Polite. So polite. All right, Jonathan.
Let's see. What should we go with?
So much for the light show.
Okay, I'm gonna play something off Better Nature, and I will go with Friendly Fires.
Nope, that one missed me.
I am going to go with something off of Neck of the Woods, and I am going to take a radio single because I actually did like this song a lot. This is one that it took a little while to grow on me because this is probably the biggest departure that they had while staying within the confines of their sound. Bloody Mary.
Nope.
Nope.
Wow.
Actually, didn't even know it was a radio song.
Yeah, no, that was the lead single for Neck of the Woods. Yeah.
To be fair, when it came, I feel like I pulled 7 through on Neck of the Woods. I don't know if that was one of them, but I was like, okay, I gotta start making some cuts here. So
yeah,
sometimes you make those hard cuts.
Yeah, got to.
Yeah,
it's hard.
All right. Well, where do I want to go? If I want to stay inside, I'll stay with radio because this one surprised me. I knew this Better Nature. I knew this was a radio tune because I remember hearing it on the radio, but when I heard it, I felt like I didn't like it. So when I came back to it in the confines of the album and in the confines of their discography, and I was like, this is actually good. Why didn't I like this before? Nightlight.
Ooh.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah. That wasn't on my list.
Okay,
Not
well,
on mine either.
that's all right.
Sorry there, chap.
Sorry, dude.
We're going to miss some here and there. All right, Jonathan?
Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna throw an odd one out there from Pakul, which was Creation Lake.
Nope.
Yes.
I really loved it. It's just it kind of comes out of left field. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just different. Yeah,
It reminded me of. I know there are. I think there's a couple songs that Darcy sings on. From Pumpkins.
Daydream, and that's on Gish.
That is what it reminded me of, and I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is weird that he has kind of, I don't want to say the same lineup, obviously, but he has the girl bass player who sings on songs
good.
occasionally.
I love watching her play.
I love watching her play, and she's bass lines are always solid. She's
to that point, you can't have Silversun Pickups without her.
No, she's essential.
You can't. You can have Smashing Pumpkins without Darcy. I don't care what anybody says.
Ooh, I think we know Billy Corgan agrees.
Yeah, we are. We are. From what I hear,
we know this to be fact. Yeah,
we've been at that for 16 years essentially. And again, for the record, she quit in 2001. Everybody's so mad at him for not bringing her back. When they were going out on tour for Machina, she quit.
Yeah.
She quit before the album came out, and that's why Melissa Oftamar replaced her.
And
she was better anyway.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I felt like she
Oftamar
was
was
better.
the best. I loved Oftamar. I wish, if anything, on this reunion quote-unquote reunion tour, they would have replaced her with Aftamar. Anyways.
Did you go to the show? Any of the shows or no?
Sadly, unfortunately, no.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I wanted to, but I couldn't either. But.
I saw them in 2009.
At the Norva.
And then 2007 on the actual reunion. The Zeitgeist tour. I saw them at a Virgin Festival up in Maryland.
Oh, cool.
And not that that's it, that I never need to see them again, but it would have been nice to see, because I like that Jeff Schrader's still in the band.
Mm-hmm.
I like that it's a 3 guitarist lineup. The newer songs, that's what bums me out, is they're not 3 guitar songs.
Yeah.
We're so far off topic here.
That's fine.
You get me talking about the Pumpkins, and this happens. This is the kind of thing that happens. It is your turn, Slice.
Okay, and I'm going to stay in the same vein of also very much that this is a Nicky-centric track, and it's nice to know you work alone.
Oh. Don't believe I have that.
No.
Let me make sure. No, I don't. God, I love that song, though.
It's so good.
Nice to know you work alone.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, every band for me, there's always a lot of tough cuts, but
yeah,
like, especially when it comes to Swoon, and I think, because it's nice to know you work alone. Great track.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And again, I do have 2 more from Swoon. Growing Old is Getting Old.
Mm-hmm.
Great track. Something about the tone that's set by the first 2, and you come out of Royal We, and like I'm wanting that energy, and they do what they do.
Yeah.
Like from there out, and and it's fine, but just something about that it doesn't match in my head.
Yeah. That's it. Kind of felt like I said earlier, after I can't remember which track it is, but the second half of the album just feels. It's got a different vibe to it than the first half.
I hesitate to use the word filler because it's not. It's good, but it's definitely tonally, maybe energy-wise for sure.
Different. Yeah, definitely energy-wise. Yeah,
definitely energy-wise.
I would say that.
I think maybe that's what I'm getting at here. All right, so where do I want to go? Let's keep. This is the song I was telling you guys about that sounds like a Billy Corgan song. Cradle, Better Nature.
That's on my list, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, hey.
Nice. There we go. Excellent.
Unanimous.
And I'm glad that we got one that was from the later albums.
Yeah. I was worried we were going to be a lot of early.
Yeah, I had to really limit myself.
Yeah, you had to spread it out. Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed that album the most, I think, out of all of them.
Really?
I just love how, going back from the beginning, you kind of, experience their core sound, and then you kind of get to this point to where maybe their music starts taking on a little bit more of the characteristics of that kind of like drew me in more.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Better Nature just feels like it kind of is taking advantage of all these different things that they've decided to kind of mix in, over the years.
It's funny that, now that I think about it, I do think, because Swoon is basically right there in the middle, I do feel like everything after Swoon, like I don't know that they would be necessarily my favorite, but I enjoyed them more listening to them. I know that doesn't make sense, because I'm going to always be partial to Carnivus, because that's how I came in. That was my introduction. But I think that the later records are better records.
Define later records, like the last 2 records, or the later? Okay.
Post Swoon.
Okay.
So Better Nature,
All right.
the Woods. I think they're better records. They may not have the songs that you can pull out for a conversation like this.
But you're talking like a start to finish experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit more refined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure. I would say that.
I guess that's part of growing up as a band.
Yes.
So I was Cradle. Jonathan, it is your turn, sir.
Okay, let's go with Carnivus, and
Still some heavy hitters out here too.
To play or not to play, I'm gonna go with Rusted Wheel.
Oh,
that's a good one. Yeah, that's on
that is
mine.
good. I don't have it, but that is so good.
Yeah.
Again, I could say that about anything on that album.
I was gonna play a different song, and then you touched on the fact that you love that album so much. So I'm like, I'm gonna play another one off that.
Yeah.
right, so I'm gonna move that over there. All right, Slights.
I'm going to take very low-hanging fruit, and I don't care. I'm going with Lazy Eye. I'm fine
Yep.
for multiple reasons. One, it is the song that got me into the band, and not because of the song itself. The music video is really what drew my
Yes.
eye
It's
to
the-
like, what is this? What's going on? Like the music video is the band is playing at like some clubhouse,
Yeah.
and the main figure is this ambiguous kind of person. You really don't know if it's a male or if it's a female, and they're going on dates and stuff like that, and hanging out, and it was just kind of like when it came out, it was different, and it was something that definitely like, ooh, this is an interesting thing that I've never seen before. And then like the song itself is
good.
rocking, and it's also one of my favorite songs to play on guitar. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
So that was the one that I left out.
I figured, yeah.
I had a feeling.
I love it. It is absolutely, for all the reasons you just said, it's quintessential.
Yeah.
Like, we can't have this discussion without that song.
No.
So I'm glad you guys both had it, so it can, because like I'm totally cool with pushing that one through when we get there. I don't even think it's like that same conversation of, well, everyone's heard that, because I don't think everybody's heard that. I don't think it ever got that big to where.
No, not as much as their stuff off Swoon, or I think like I don't want to name songs that are probably their biggest ones in case they get mentioned later.
Yeah.
But there are definitely bigger hits, quote unquote, out there for sure.
So, but I had to be calculated with that one.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm gonna follow you up with another hit off of Swoon. I don't know if it was a hit, but I know it was a radio song. Substitution.
That's one of my favorites. That's on my list. Absolutely.
Good God, that's good.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's so bouncy.
Sorry.
It's
Another great just bridge part and breakdown.
Yeah. And it's got a cool video too. Like,
Yeah.
where it's just all the girls coming in and like the kind of circling around the band playing, and it's just, you don't want to be left out when the substitution comes, Jonathan. I'm
You
just
don't.
saying. You don't.
You do not.
All right, Jonathan, you're up.
Okay, well then let's stay on the Swoon bandwagon, and I'll go with Surrounded.
I got it.
I do not.
It's all right.
I do not.
You're building quite the combo here.
All right. I like that.
All
That
right.
was my last one off of Swoon.
I'm going to go with off, even though you haven't pointed me to go to the next song yet.
You're fine.
That's fine. Off of Neck of the Woods, Dots and Dashes.
I got it.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh.
Woo! Nice.
All the way through.
Nice.
I mean, it was definitely towards the bottom of my list, but it's
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. It's a lower, of the top 20, but it's in there.
I mean, when you start again, like that album's an album, and you start pulling stuff away, and it doesn't live as well on its own.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good enough that I was like, I need representation from that album,
Yeah.
and this is good representation. It's not awful to where you would be like, nah, I don't need it. It's a good representation of where they are as a band. Too.
Yeah, it is a good representation of their growth, like we were talking about, of where, if you listen to, it's a good kind of mile marker, if you will, like where if you listen to Kissing Families and then you listen to Dots and Dashes, that's a pretty good spectrum of their growth, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, where do I want to go then? Man, we are hitting all over the board here. I feel like that one's gonna miss. No, we'll stay right there on that album though. Again, it's down towards the bottom of my list, but it made it. Gun Shy Sunshine.
No. I had it. I actually traded that for Dots and Dashes because I liked it
It's
a
the
little
smart
bit more.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the smart play.
Yeah.
All right, Jonathan.
All right, I'm gonna jump up to Better Nature, and I'm gonna go with Circadian Rhythm.
I don't have it.
I do have that.
Ooh.
I do like that track a lot.
Last Dance. All right, Slates.
You took Rusted Wheel, correct? I think
Yeah.
Jonathan didn't. Yeah. Then in that case, I'm gonna stay on Carnivas, and I'm going to go with Checkered Floor.
No.
No.
No, all right. No, I like that track. I don't know. It's a good song.
Maybe we're insane.
No, I'm
That's-
saying.
It's funny that you haven't had very many misses there.
No,
No, kind of,
no. Thanks for pointing that out. No, I'm just kidding. I guess that was a compliment. Sorry, I don't know why I'm pretending to be insulted by that. But
You're playing really well.
yeah. Considering I had a very well prepared list when we came in,
Yes.
so this is all research heavy decisions.
Yes.
Yes. Not at all throwing darts.
Never would you ever.
Yes.
But now that you know what it's like,
Yes, I'm not grabbing a handful of noodles and seeing which ones stick to the wall.
That one.
Yeah, that's how we should pick. Just see if we can write the names on the noodles and just see which 20 stick to the wall.
What's funny here? Okay, I'm staying on that album. Future Foe Scenarios.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That was actually going to be one of the that was on. I was either going to go with that or with Checkered Floor, and so I picked wrong. But that is on my list overall.
All right.
Yeah.
That's another unanimous. 1, 2, 3. We got 6 through already before we even get to the combo.
All right.
We are cruising along here. All right, Jonathan.
Okay, I'm gonna go with The Pit.
Ooh, that's on my list. Yes.
Let me see. I don't think so. I don't think that made mine. Scroll. Nope. But let me go dig it up. There it is. All right. Slights.
Let me look here.
Let's see. Just for reference, I think. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 7 left.
Okay. Circadian Rhythm. Did someone take that already or no?
Jonathan
You
did,
did
yeah.
take that. God dang it.
I think that may have been his last play.
Nightlight then. Not to just go with the track that's above it. Don't pay attention to that fact, but it definitely is. It definitely would be on my list either way.
I put Nightlight out there
Okay.
a couple rounds ago.
You did?
Yes.
Did you really?
Yes.
What is wrong with me? I'm sorry. I'm messing. See, now you mentioned the fact that I was doing so well, and now.
Derailed.
Now I'm
Completely
determined
derailed.
to pick one off of Better Nature. I swear to God, I've not heard the phrase "latchkey kids" this entire time, so that's the one that I'm going to
But
go
that
with.
is on my list.
Yes.
Mine too.
Well played.
Yes.
Well played. 2 foul balls and then a home
And a
run.
homer, yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Where do I
Oh
go
man.
Here.
Did I curse at all? I hope I didn't curse in front of the kids. Did I? No,
I'm their
no.
dad. So
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
That explains.
I don't know what that. What does that mean? Does that mean I don't know what it is?
I'm an awful person.
All right.
so
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Occasionally.
There we go.
I don't mean to. It just kind of comes out when they're acting that way.
Yeah. All right. No, my mom has said it to me a couple times. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, on her deathbed. It was a real bummer. No, I'm just kidding.
Aw.
She's very much still alive. I'm sorry. Sorry, Mom. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Sorry. Please
All
don't
right.
say that to me. All right.
Let me put this one out there.
Because as soon as I post that this is up, my mom's going to be calling me trying to figure out how to download a podcast. I guarantee you. How do I listen to it? I want to know.
It's so easy now. I didn't even point that out. We're on Spotify now.
Oh,
so now you
yes.
can just listen on Spotify.
Nice.
Type in a word.
Nice. Now I have to explain to my mom Spotify.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. It's fine.
That's a whole nother thing. Let me put this one out here. Make Believe.
Okay. Yes.
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 What? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I've only got 2 songs left.
Jinkies, guys. All right. Jonathan? Seems about right. I got like 5, so.
Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna go with The Fuzz.
No.
Nope. Wow, you had a lot off of that one. All right, Slates.
Did anybody say Common Reactor yet?
No,
Okay, good. Good. Good.
I don't
And
have it
confidently say Common Reactor.
I don't have it.
No.
No.
Closer on Carnival.
So good though.
It is good.
It is so good. I'm more of a track 1 guy.
By the way, is there? This is totally just a side note, just something I was thinking of because when you mentioned the fact that we were talking about the opening tracks really setting the tone. Is there any track that doesn't really sound like any other song on the rest of the album that more so than the Strokes opening track on their first record? Is this it? Do you guys know that song at all?
I don't know that
no,
song.
see, you know, I mean,
I
okay,
haven't listened
because it's
to a
like if
lot
you
of
think of a Strokes song, it doesn't sound like. I mean, the vocally
be
it sounds
good,
like him, but it's you know they're usually like very rhythm, like power chords and that kind of stuff, and it's a fully arpeggioed, just slow, just easy like. Slow time signature. It doesn't sound like anything else that I think that they've ever done at all. And it's
That's one of those bands, again, like, I was very much a jerk when it came to radio stuff. And if it hit my ear too many times, well, that band's on my ignore list.
okay. Well, yeah, because last night was like
That was massive.
that was ubiquitous. It was everywhere.
So, but now that I hear that song now, and it's like, why did I hate that?
Yeah, and it's because the songs that are on that again. I'm sorry for going off on a total side, but the songs that are on that record, are good and sound similar to it, but are different enough to where it's not like it's solid effort. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely a good album. The first two albums are fantastic.
I'll have to maybe
I'll come back.
Hey,
stroking beards, yes, our own beards, not each other's beards. Yes.
Oh, all right.
Grabbing handfuls.
Let's see. So I threw out Make Believe and it hit. So Jonathan, you are up.
I believe this is my last one.
All right.
And that is Pins and Needles.
Nope.
Yes.
Oh. Let me scroll up. It's up here somewhere. There it is. All right, so put that to the convo. All right, Slates.
I'm trying to think, is the idea is that we're trying to get
new people.
New people. So in that vein, and very much so less in the vein of this being a track that I personally love, and I'm going to go for another piece of low-hanging fruit, and it's Panic Switch. Because I think without a doubt, it's, and I'll look up the Spotify numbers on it real quick.
It probably is one of their biggest hits.
But I think it is literally their biggest radio hit.
I think that's the only one that I stayed away from because it was the bigger...
Yeah, and that's fair. But I mean, just like I said, it's not my favorite. If this were a 100% personal top 10 list, it wouldn't make mine.
Right.
But just in terms of if you want to get to know this band, it's a pretty key part of their existence. Just because it is their biggest hit, it's a good song.
It is a good song.
You know what I mean? But it is by far their biggest song.
So two things. Number one, this was one that listeners offered up.
Okay.
Switch. Number two, I don't have it, but. Again, I feel like I was laying out a calculated risk that you guys would have it because I do feel like very much like you were saying, like it's kind of important to especially if I were to weigh it again personally, if I was to weigh it against Lazy Eye wins. But if you weigh it out, I think technically speaking, Panic Switch is probably the better tune.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Technically speaking.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah,
it's got like the high energy.
Yeah.
Killer bass line.
It's a more
maybe more
cohesive.
accessible.
Yeah, accessible. That's the word. That's a better word for it. Yes,
because Lazy Eye's great, and again, for me personally, that's the one. But it's definitely long and drawn out and nice and pretty. It's got plenty of room to play around, and even if you don't listen to the radio version, it actually is an extended jam on it. So
now that I said that I think it's the biggest radio hit, and this is not at all a metric for radio hits or anything like that at all. Panic Switch sits at just below 16 million spins on Spotify. For comparison, if you were to just throw a guess out there, how many do you think Lazy Eye has?
I want to say 8, but I'm feeling more like 4.
I was going to say 8.
Just shy of 45 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
See,
almost 3 times as much.
I kind of wanted to go higher, but...
Yeah, it was surprising to me, too.
Yeah.
So,
Wow, okay. Well, I mean,
Lazy Eye apparently is like the big one, so...
Wow.
Which is weird, because I really thought... I mean, I knew that was a popular, well-known... Like if they're going to go and play, 3 of their biggest hits, that's in there. But it's... I would have thought that Panic Switch would have been the bigger one.
I mean, we're using radio as the metric. And
I'm using now... I mean, Spotify is the metric, but
right.
In terms of radio hits, yeah.
It was... I've heard that song more than Lazy Eye.
I guarantee it got more spins than on air than Lazy Eye did. I would feel very comfortable in stating that.
And maybe that is what we're talking
I know
about.
it's a weird it doesn't matter.
But it's weird that this topic comes up with so much with this band because again I feel like they should be bigger, and it's just weird that.
And you know what? And it is weird because we at the station that shall not be named, we had booked them for one of our a big show that we had. I think it was one that sold out at the Ted Constant Convocation Center, and I believe that Fun was on that lineup, and Imagine Dragons. It was for a radio show. It was a solid lineup, and. I pushed for it, and Chapel pushed to add them to it, and they didn't bomb, but they were the lowest we got the lowest crowd reaction from them out of any of the bands that we saw there. And they weren't, and I don't know if it was because, and it does matter if it's like an arena or a club show or something like that. I mean, that has a factor in the way that a band, but these guys are definitely more suited, I think, for the Norva than they are for like a big venue like that. And it was nothing they did. They played well. Like they sounded great. Like I personally enjoyed it. Like Chappell and I were having a fantastic time, but it was, it did not, the crowd was not, it was the least, got the least reaction.
Weird.
Weird, yeah,
Very
right?
weird. So let's see. You played Panic Switch, right? So does that make it my turn?
Yes.
All right, and Jonathan is out, right?
I'm all tapped out.
Okay, so I'll play this one, bounce it off you, and then you bounce one off of me, and then I'll just clear out what I got left.
Okay.
Just so everybody can know. Because, the four that I got left after this are misses, probably. Dream at Tempo 119.
No. Not on there for me.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You want to bounce one off of me?
Ragamuffin.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
And that's really all I got. That's off the...
All right, so the 4 that I have remaining, and it's weird that I have 4 left somehow, but the Wild Kind, 3 Seed, Sci-Fi Lullaby, and Comeback Kid.
I would definitely go with 3 Seed and Sci-Fi Lullaby.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, let's put them into the combo, and we'll put them towards the bottom since they're making it there technically.
Yeah.
Because Slights definitely had his list, and it was definitely well.
Definitely. Yeah, it was. This is as curated as the Louvre in Paris. This was professionally done.
Okay, so I'm going to archive this. I'm going to archive this because we are about to have like some heavy cutting here, gents. Archive this. All right, so through completely unanimous, we have There's No Secrets this year, The Royal We, Future Foe Scenarios, Cradle, Better Nature, Latchkey Kids, Kissing Families, Make Believe, Dots and Dashes. That gives us 8.
Okay.
So we only need 2.
That's pretty good.
Good job.
Yeah. We only need 2 out of these. Lazy Eye, Melatonin, Little Lover So Polite, already hard, Rusted Wheel, 3 Seed, Circadian Rhythm, Pins and Needles, Surrounded, Substitution, Growing Old is Getting Old, The Pit, Sci-Fi Lullaby, Booksmart Devil, Creation Lake.
This is going to be tough.
We only get 2 of those.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
So.
Okay, so how are we looking on represent? Because I'm a big proponent of when we make these lists, I like to have every album represented.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless it's the album that should not be named
Yes.
by the last one.
Yeah.
So, Carnivus only has 1 through right now.
Okay.
Swoon has 2. Better Nature has 2. And Neck of the Woods has 2. And Pycool has 1.
So I think we should add 1 more from Pakul and 1 more from Carnivus.
Okay.
We can do that.
All right. So
hang on. Let me bring it up again so I can.
we will drop the Pit. We will drop.
So we need 1 from Pykel and 1 from Carnivus. Is that what we need?
Yeah.
correct?
Well, that's what Jonathan
Well,
is.
that's a good way. I
suggesting.
think. Yes. I think that's probably a good way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull for Lazy Eye, even more
Yeah,
so by
that
the
was
fact that it is apparently what their most well-known song,
Yeah.
I guess. But it's that's one that and it is like it almost feels too easy to go with that song because of it. But it is
it's them.
it's a quintessential.
Yeah,
it's a quintessential. If you go, it's the one that like if they don't play it, like you're
You're
pissed
bummed.
that they
Yeah.
didn't play it. Yeah,
This playlist is crap!
yeah.
I mean, again, I didn't have it, but again, it was a calculated risk, hoping that you
Right.
guys would. So yeah, I'm all for that. We'll push that one on through. And so we will lose Melatonin. We will lose Little Lover So Polite. We will lose Rusted Wheel. We will lose 3 Seed. We got to cut Substitution here too. All right, so Sci-Fi Lullaby
That's tough.
versus Books, right? versus Booksmart Devil versus Creation Lake. Now, in the interest of kind of different sounding, I am looking at Creation Lake because it's kind of different than some of the stuff we have on here. But I'm also, I don't know, I'm easy here.
I tend to agree with that just because if we're looking for like a well-rounded sampling of what they have to offer, I think that Creation Lake definitely is representative of their talent.
I think that it's just a feeling that I have that in the future, based
in the year 2000.
In the year 2000.
based on what they did with Better Nature in some of the songs have very little in the way of like any kind of lead guitar, so giving way more to bass lines, to keyboards, electronics.
They are rhythm heavy, yeah.
Yes, yes. So emphasizing that, and I would not be surprised to hear what's the bass player's name?
Nicky.
Slights with the knowledge.
Yeah.
The expert over here.
Yeah. I interviewed her on the phone once. It was pretty tight. And I've spoken to her in person a couple times. She's
Nice.
way taller than me, which is not difficult at all, but she is, yeah.
I could definitely hear her on, as a lead on more songs in the future. Because I really enjoy that.
I hope that she does a side project. I would love to hear what she has to offer.
Just on her own. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So we're all pushing for Creation Lake?
Yeah.
All right, let's put it through. That's our 10 then.
That's the 10.
All right, so let me run this down, and then we will decide what the number one with a bullet is, if you will.
Okay.
All right, so here's our 10. There's no secrets this year. The Royal We, Future Foe Scenarios, Lazy Eye, Cradle, Latchkey Kids, Kissing Families, Creation Lake, Make Believe, Dots and Dashes.
I like it.
I like it.
saying,
Yeah, that's pretty well rounded.
We've got everything represented. Everything is represented well and equally. I feel good about it. I mean, again, you leave some on the cutting room floor. It's like, ugh, but like, this is what we got through. So it's like, that's really good.
I think on the positive side of that, this list. I mean, if it grabs somebody's attention, they're in for a really good time discovering all these other songs that we definitely, we're pretty excited to include in our list.
So now we got to do the number one with a bullet. So this is the one that.
Now, do you? I'm sorry for interrupting, but do you create a playlist of these songs on Spotify for after?
Absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Okay,
so there will be All right.
Sorry, I know I'm as unprepared as hell.
No, dude, that's great. It gives me an excuse to talk about it.
That's fine.
There will be absolutely this playlist will be there, and when I create this playlist, this song, the number one with a bullet, will be the number one.
Number one, okay.
So it's got to be strong enough to lead that off, which I've already got one in my head. Now I'm going to tell you the story of why. I told Jonathan this already. I've told the listeners plenty of time.
Story.
There's one reason and one reason only why I do this, and you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
And his name is Alfredo Torres.
He is. There is a significant chance Alfredo Torres could be my father. That is a true story. not a true story, but again, my mother's going to be very upset with me throughout this entire podcast. But no, I refer to him as he's my Puerto Rican father.
He's a wonderful man. I love him dearly.
Yes.
But every year, we've done two of them. We did the 2016 and the 2017 year in review, essentially, episode of Deprogrammed, where I personally would go through and pull one song from every artist we did that year.
Mm-hmm.
And this last year, for 2017, he basically shat on my entire list. He's like, dudes, I wouldn't have selected this one. I wouldn't have selected this one.
You don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you're doing, dudes.
I thought you liked music.
I would have never liked this band for that, dudes.
Him and I, and this is a really bad time for me to bring this up. Him and I got into it so heated over Kanye West versus Kiss, which is the dumbest argument any two people could possibly have. Right now, he's winning that argument, but that's not just in terms of like Kanye being a bigger success than Kiss, and he was just so like I know the tizzies he gets in because he's a passionate fella.
He's a very passionate fella.
He's a passionate man.
But so like now I'm like, okay, well then the panel's gonna choose. So not only will this lead off the playlist, but it also will be the representation for Silversun Pickups when that discussion comes up next year. Now I'm gonna put mine out here first.
Will you run through the list one more time?
Sure,
for me?
Absolutely. There's no secrets this year. The Royal We, Future Foe Scenarios, Lazy Eye, Cradle Better Nature, Latchkey Kids, Kissing Families, Creation Lake, Make Believe, Dots and Dashes. Now, I already made my case when I played this. It was the number one song I played. It's a perfect track one. There's no denying it. I'm putting this one out here not only because I love it, but because it's a great track one, a great representation of the band. There's No Secrets this year. You guys don't have to agree, but that's the one I'm putting out because it's my favorite track one.
I could go with that because as much as we've agreed how awesome Lazy Eye is and how well it's done as far as listeners is concerned, I kind of
people know it.
yeah, and for that reason alone, I would kind of want to shy away from it. I don't know if that's the smart thing to do, but
my only argument against it is that it is kind of it goes against the grain a little bit of what you would think of the motif of a normal Silversun Pickup song, because it starts. I mean, it does have like a little slow start that very shortly, but I mean it kicks in pretty quickly as opposed to like the slow build up kind of thing that is pervasive through more of their tracks. I feel like.
Well, did you want to offer up a track?
I mean, I the Royal We which is the song right after that one is the one that on that list that I would go for personally. But I'm also fine with the first one. Sorry.
No, there's no need to be. Like, that's what the point of this discussion.
Yeah, because I lean towards, when you rattled off the list a second ago, the Royal We was what kind of like popped out to me.
Okay, well then we'll go with the Royal We. I'm totally cool with that. And again, they go together anyway. So Royal We will come up first on this list. Make sure you listen to them both, and then swap them. Listen to There's No Secrets this year, and then Royal We, and because they're married. It's
absolutely.
Let's just make the Royal We song 1 and song 3.
Yeah, that's it. So you can get the full experience.
There we go.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. So one last rundown. The Royal We is our number one with a bullet, and again, because to me, it matches the same energy, but it does match more what Silversun Pickups do on a regular basis. There's No Secrets this year. Future Foe Scenarios, Lazy Eye, Cradle, Better Nature, Latchkey Kids, Kissing Families, Creation Lake, Make Believe, Dots and Dashes, enough already. I think that if you listen to those 10 songs, you will not only get a better understanding of what Silversun Pickups do, but you'll really enjoy the band because we kind of gave you just the best of it. And if you're the person who likes to play at home, collect all these songs that we brought up today and just listen to them all. It will not, honestly, take the whole discography in. It will not take you that long. It's really good. It's 4 albums and an EP essentially.
Mm-hmm. Basically. Yeah.
I mean, it won't take you long. If you like the stuff you've heard on the radio, there's a good chance you will like this band.
Yeah.
There's no reason to not take the deep dive.
And they make albums. They make songs. They make those songs you hear on the radio, the singles. They're very much so pieces of a whole, and so they're meant to be listened to from start to finish, which is not the case for every band. You know what I mean? Obviously,
not everybody.
But it's you described it as like the wall of sound kind of thing. It is very much so that.
Well, we are wrapping up here, and I don't know what you have up next. Actually, I think it's My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So probably next month sometime.
You should maybe see if you can Skype in one Bobby Fresh on that, because we were talking about on Facebook. Yeah, he literally was talking about that yesterday.
In the group, I put My Chemical Romance is coming up, and he's like, oh, it's coming up. Or he's like, man, I kind of love them. And I'm like, well, why didn't you just tell me that? And I could have put you on the show. Like, they've been up there for 2 years.
Yeah, dang. Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. So, wow. I mean, now granted, we talked about Nickelback for an hour and a half earlier, but we've done an hour 15. Like, considering the discography isn't deep, we gave them a lot of love here, so I feel good about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I feel like we came out with a good 10. So I'm just saying, we're patting ourselves on the back. You can pat me on the back by going to patreon.com/ohhijustin, $1 a month. And that's exactly what it is. It's a pat on the back. Hey, man, I like what you're doing. I like the deprogrammed, which you get 3 days earlier than everybody else in the whole world if you become a patron. Oh Hi Justin Pod, that's a daily pod. I just kind of spill my guts for usually less than 10 minutes every day, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. You get a full week early. These Ghouls demos, which right now I've written and recorded 11 tunes, and they're all acoustic demos right now. Hopefully getting some studio time to make them bigger. And then maybe a comic book, maybe the return of the Your Music Show. There's absolutely another podcast in the works. Whatever else I'm doing. I mean, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff in the coming months. $1 a month, that's a pat on the back that says, Justin, we like you.
You should get $1 just for that segue, just for that transition. That was amazing. That was fantastic. Yeah.
Sometimes I do stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
So how about that? Silversun Pickups, people. Learn them and love them. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.